two great privacy projects meeting together online, finding out about each other for the first time. That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. But if you decide that you want to preserve your privacy and make sure all the data that goes in and out of your computer is encrypted, then check out NordVPN. My affiliate link will give you something like a 2/3 discount on some of their packages.
Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams.
Hi everybody, this is Crypto Rich, working with you to get rich with crypto, filling our pockets with crypto profits. I am thrilled to have with me Itszhak. He is one of the team at Secret Labs. They do the developmental and the magical coding work that underpins Secret Network. And I'm also delighted to have with me, once again, my captain, Captain Draeth, who is the captain of the good ship Pirate Chain. And I am one of the first mates on the good ship Pirate Chain. So full disclosure. Now, before we continue with this conversation, please subscribe, follow me on Twitter, CryptoRichYT, join my official Telegram announcements channel. And please, 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 if you're watching this on YouTube, come and subscribe to bit.ly/CryptoRichOdyssey, because I say all sorts of stuff on Odyssey that YouTube doesn't like, including, by the way, Draeth, you may not know this. I don't know if I mentioned it in the Pirate Chain chat group, but I got my video deleted by YouTube a couple of weeks ago.
Geez.
There was a competition in November 2020 between two men, and I just put some questions over the outcome of that competition, because I couldn't get that the winner really had the wherewithal to win by the margin that he did. I also referred to the winner as a pedophile, but that was okay. That was okay. And by the way, I'm qualified to say that because I am a child protection social worker. I can see grooming behavior. Right. Anyway, enough about me. Itszhak, do you want to say a little bit about yourself? And then Draeth, you can say a little bit about yourself, and then we'll start the process of discovery.
Yeah, hi. I'm Itszhak. I'm VP of Engineering at Secret Labs, which is the core developer of Secret Network.
Great. Thank you. Draeth?
Yeah, I'm a captain over at Pirate Chain, and I do not do any development work, but I help lead the project in terms of, assembling people for marketing, leading development initiatives, and just decision making with the project.
Yep. And one thing to distinguish, and in a way, I think both projects have this in common with variations, is they're both the code is fully decentralized. It's open source, decentralized. Pirate Chain is entirely volunteer run. So Draeth, he steers the good ship Pirate Chain as captain with a bunch of ragamuffin, vagabond pirates or wannabe pirates like myself and others. And the Secret Network, and correct me because I'm not that familiar with the structure of Secret Network. So Secret Network is the code, it's open source, and then there's different groups. There's the secret agents that do a lot of the marketing work that I'm very closely connected to. There's Secret Labs that do the dev work, Secret Foundation that provides the funding, and any other.
There are so many. I mean, Secret Network it's more than just code. It's an ecosystem. It's a I don't know, to borrow from from your terminology, a band of ragamuffins that are the privacy advocates and the people who value that in the blockchain space, coming together and working on that the infrastructure layer of privacy for blockchain as a whole. So we have Secret Labs, us, who are the developer side. We have the Secret Foundation, who handle community management and organizing, all the community into, finding, a role and, a place where you can contribute for each person. And, there are so many groups, and everybody makes up the Secret Network community as a whole.
Great. All right. Thank you. Draeth, do you want to add something? So that's the structure of Secret Network. Draeth, do you want to add anything or say anything about the structure of Pirate Chain?
Sure. So Pirate Chain is basically, you do have, several core members and things like that. but essentially it's community driven. So a lot of the marketing is mainly done by the community itself. And we do take input from the community in terms of things that we're working on, just various ideas for either developments or marketing and things like that. And then in terms of fundraising, we have no dev tax or anything like that. So everything that we need money for, that we end up either raising from the community or from some of the projects that we currently have, like War, which has a dev tax and things like that for trading and things like that. So this way we can self-fund various initiatives.
Yes. And I'll just say War is wrapped R. The ticker symbol Itszhak for Pirate Chain is R, ARRR. And War is wrapped R that runs on the Binance Smart Chain and on Ethereum. Now, I just want to check. Itszhak, do you know anything about Pirate Chain prior to this conversation?
I've heard of Pirate Chain, but I want to hear it, from the captains themselves.
Yes, well, you are lucky in that respect, right? And Draeth, do you know anything about Secret Network prior to this conversation?
I do, bits and pieces, yeah.
Okay. Well, look, why don't we do this? I'll turn this over to you, right? To both of you, and then I'll keep it moving along. But without getting too techie and too in-depth, because I want this to be a broad overview. And for anybody who's watching, if you have any comments or questions, put them in the description below. I'll have the relevant links. So Secret, which is scrt.network, and pirate.black. Those are the respective websites. If you want to go and find out more and go join their Telegram groups or their Discord groups and look at these really, really great, very distinct privacy-focused projects that also fulfill on very distinct functions. Now, there's very little overlap between. There's no overlap really. One's a currency, and the other one is a layer 1 platform protocol. Okay, so Itszhak, you go ahead and ask Captain Draeth. Go on, make it difficult. Ask him a difficult question about Pirate Chain.
Oh, geez.
It's a joke, Draeth.
Oh, Captain, my Captain. Won't you please tell me what Pirate Chain is all about?
Yeah, so Pirate Chain initially started as kind of like a project within Komodo itself. Komodo is a fork of Zcash, and so what ended up happening was before Komodo got rid of their Z addresses, they basically came up with an idea of creating a blockchain that only utilized Z addresses. So after some experimentation, they actually got it to work and thus launched Pirate Chain. So Pirate Chain is Z to Z only, peer-to-peer Z to Z only chain, meaning that the block rewards themselves actually go to a transparent address just for accounting, but any address after that has to go to a Z address. So for example, if you're mining on a pool, the pool address gets paid out, which is transparent, and then from that point it gets all sent to Z addresses, and that's all it can be sent to after that. So we utilize ZK snarks, which is zero knowledge proofs, and for an elementary way to kind of understand it, it's basically a mathematical way to prove that you own something, that what something is true without actually having to show the proof itself. So in other words, it's like making a transaction by having a dollar disappear from your pocket and reappear in somebody else's pocket. Everyone knows that something happened, but nobody knows with who it happened with, the amount that was transacted, and so forth. So primarily, we are a currency. I mean, there are other avenues that we are exploring, like, for example, with War, that give additional use cases for other areas, but primarily we are a currency meant to be used for payments and transactions and things like that. That's why we set up the Armada, which is a directory of stores that accept Pirate Chain as a currency. So we have over 100 and something stores that we're accepted in online, and there's actually several physical businesses that we're accepted at. And yeah, we're primarily community driven. I was originally just a community member back in October of 2018. It was about a couple months after it launched. And I worked my way up to be a captain because I was just dedicated to the project because I loved what it stood for, loved the team that was involved, loved the community and everything. So, and that's how the vast majority of people that are part of the core team got to where they are. It's just they started off in the community.
Yep. Thank you. And just to make it something I want to add to make it really clear for people who aren't techie minded or are new to Pirate Chain, So Bitcoin transactions, and I'm sure you know this, Itszhak, right, are public. Itszhak sends me 10 Bitcoin and Draeth and everybody can see the transaction. And actually they can see that he hasn't sent me the 10 Bitcoin. But with Pirate Chain, nobody knows. Nobody knows because of the ZK snark code that it uses, right? It's like nobody can see. There's no data on the blockchain that can be analyzed apart from the first coins when they get created by the miners. And that's to make sure the miners aren't cheating and producing extra coins. Once it's in a wallet, you don't know how much is in that wallet, when it left, who it went to, or anything. There's no trace. Does that answer? And that's it. It's a currency. It's a fully private currency. No option for, I'll make this transaction public. I'll let everybody know that I sent this much Pirate Chain to Itszhak. No, nobody knows how much I've sent to him, apart from you. And you can have a look and you'll see there's nothing there. Right? Now, Draeth, does that answer your question, Itszhak?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay, Draeth, do you want to ask Itszhak a question? I suppose a similar question about secret network.
Well, I guess same question. Also, just to add on to it, for layman's like myself, how would you explain how smart contracts work on Secret? So I always found that fascinating.
Yeah. So I'll start from giving a broad overview of what secret network is for anybody who isn't familiar. So the analogy I like to give, and I'll use Pirate Chain for this, is so you can imagine Pirate Chain as a Bitcoin of the privacy world. It's like this this chain that allows you to send coins from one address to another. So what secret network is the Ethereum of that ecosystem. So secret network does privacy, but for applications that run on the blockchain. The SCRT token itself, it's just a regular token. It's not a privacy token. You can send it around and everybody will see what happens. But the real magic of secret network comes from the application layer or the smart contract layer that runs on secret network. And for that, everything is encrypted. So you can run, for example, your Uniswap or whatever else it is on secret network. But everything that happens, all the computations, all the trades that happen inside there, that's all encrypted and that's all private. So basically the only person who can see what happened in a specific transaction would be the person who sent it. And our goal for that is to build an infrastructure layer for private applications in the blockchain space. So that's as a super high level overview. And I guess these days, Bitcoin also has its own application. So it's, I'll have to update that analogy at some point, but I think it still works. And the magic behind that, and Secret Network is built on top of Cosmos. So if you know Cosmos chain, Secret Network is functionally no different, but the magic happens when you enter that application space, that contract layer. And the way it works is that all your smart contracts run inside what's called a trusted execution environment, which is this sort of like a hardware enclave or a trusted space inside the processors of nodes that run on the network, where everything is encrypted. So everything that comes in, everything that goes out, all the storage, long-term state, things like that, everything that happens inside the application, that's all encrypted. And it's encrypted using a special protocol that we designed that allows the user to communicate with the blockchain so that only the user knows what happens. And even the node runners, even the people that are running the nodes, even whoever wrote the wallet, or the dApps themselves, they don't know what's going on. And that allows you to create all kinds of really amazing use cases.
Just a real quick follow-up question. How would you compare Cosmosm to the Ethereum equivalent?
So first of all, secret contracts or secret, applications on the secret network use Cosmosm. So if you're familiar with, applications on Ethereum, those run in what's called Solidity, which is sort of like JavaScript, and it kind of sucks. Like, honestly, it does. I mean, it does.
I 100% agree with the statement.
I'm not a coder, but it really sucks.
Yeah, it sucks even more for coders because it came as it was really great like for the time like Solidity and Ethereum smart contracts, they were like revolutionary, and they really caused all the breakthroughs and the huge growth that we've seen in the blockchain space. But it was a very very specific tool designed with the resources and the knowledge that was way back in the day. Say way back in the day, 5-6 years ago. But that's the way things go these days, I guess. And Cosmos contracts are sort of like a next generation where they're built using Rust, which is a memory safe language. So there's no unexpected bugs, and whatever you write, that's what you get, and you don't have these unexpected re-entrancy bugs, or oh, I have this weird bug because I'm using an older version of Solidity and there was some random things happening I didn't expect. So basically, the way to look at it is if you have an application on a Cosmos chain and you get hacked, it's because you fucked up somewhere. I'm allowed to say that, right? I think I think here we could get away with it. Yeah, because if somebody got hacked, it's because you made a really really big mistake. You made like a really big logical error somewhere, and not because you were not super super familiar with the intricacies of Solidity. So it's much safer for developers, and I think maybe not immediately, but over time we'll see more and more chains and more tooling and applications transitioning to these newer languages for smart contracts.
Yes. And I just want to add a little bit here, right? And just so you know, I haven't mentioned this so far, Pirate Chain is one of the founder members of the BPSAA.vision, which is the Blockchain Privacy, Security and Adoption Alliance. And another founder member of that is Sentinel. And their token is DVPN, and they're part of the Cosmos ecosystem with their decentralized VPN. And Secret Network is also part of the Cosmos ecosystem, uses the Cosmos programming code and stuff. And I use, I do a lot of DeFi on the Osmosis DEX, which is just beautiful, fabulous, wonderful DEX, Draeth, absolutely sublime DEX, very, very easy to use, very fast, very low transaction fees, compared to Ethereum, where I sent some ETH the other day and it was stuck for 20 days. It was a pending transaction for 20 days before I worked out, I got some guide about how I can go into MetaMask and do something and send 0 ETH and match the nonce of the previous transaction. And nonce for a child protection social worker in England, just so you're clear, right? I'm going to teach you some English slang, means pedophile. That's what nonce means. That's what a nonce is, right? So I had to match the nonce and to release the funds, and that cost me extra gas fees. Oh my god! So Ethereum really does suck in that regard. And Cosmos, the way that it's designed, there's no load on it because they're all separate. It is like a Cosmos, separate planets. Each blockchain is a separate planet with its own solar system, or however you want to figure a solar system or a galaxy. It is like that. So there's no load on the mother chain. They're all interconnected and can communicate with each other. Very fast, very low transaction fees. Having said that, Secret is not as fast as the others because of the privacy aspects.
Yeah, that's typically true for any privacy coin because, adding encryption, all this other stuff into the actual blockchain itself, that's when, you start getting bogged down a little bit. So your TPS starts getting a little bit lower. But in the grand scheme of things, like, for example, Pirate Chain can handle, I think it was like 34, 35 transactions per second. And, you'll hear some, blowback saying, oh, that's not that much. Like, dude, if we're hitting like 20 or 30 transactions per second consistently, we're one of the most used chains on earth, so and plus, there's always room to grow. Just like, Cosmos, they didn't start out this way, so they obviously grew over time, just like every other chain, and,
Yes.
Cosmos has a, pretty large ecosystem at this point. Like, you got DVPN, you got Osmosis and all those other things. So,
they've got coins with dark spaces on them, which is really
that's why there's something called development. That's why you develop over time.
Yep. And just to follow up on that, Pirate Chain's really fast. relative to certainly relative to Monero, in terms of validating the transactions. I think it takes about a minute to send and receive a transaction. That's about that. It's also much faster than Bitcoin and ETH, despite the privacy features. Just want to say that. It's like, go on, ask Draeth the question. Sing it if you like.
Yeah. Actually, I just want to say one small thing about that. I think, as you guys said, like performance on privacy chains is definitely a big challenge. It is on all blockchains, but privacy specifically. Although I think on Secret right now, if you go and try to use, for example, ShadeSwap, one of the dexes, I think you'll get an experience that's pretty close to what you get on Osmosis. But the real challenge, especially for us, is the user experience, because you have like these, whether it be shielded addresses or applications with privacy, you have to find a way to make allow the user to control what he sees and what he doesn't see. And I think the real challenge with that is creating how do you create tokens that manage permissions for users, and how do you get that user experience to be really, really good. So I guess my question to Draeth would be, how does that work on on Pirate Chain? Like, how does the user how can only he see his tokens? How do you manage that?
Yeah, well, for Pirate Chain, it's just like any other native chain, where you have your own wallet, your own private key, things like that, and that's essentially how you pull up all your information, things like that, in terms of your wallet balances and all that fun stuff. But it's just the nature of the protocol itself that basically, if you go on the block explorer, everything's encrypted, everything's like that. So literally, if you try to look for a transaction on the blockchain, you won't see any addresses, you won't see any amounts, things like that. It's just essentially you know that if you have a transaction ID, you know that transaction happened on the chain, but you just can't see exactly who transacted. From your wallet, you can see who you sent to and who you received from, but anything past that, you can't see anything. Yep. So it protects the user and protects those involved, because just like the problem in Bitcoin being non-fungible, to where you can see down the chain and all the history and things like that. That's when you start running into problems of oh well, this was a nefarious person in real life that owns this wallet, and now several steps down the chain, you receive funds from somebody who receives funds from somebody who receives funds from somebody who receives funds from that wallet, and now you're linked permanently to that wallet. So that gets removed from all of this with Pirate Chain. And going back to what you're saying about the user experience real quick, that's in my opinion, one of the biggest issues in all of crypto, is making it so that it's not only easy for the average crypto user, but making it easy to the point where, and I liken this to like a credit card, to where anybody can use it, so that you don't have to know how it works. You just can use it. Just like a credit card, you know how to use it, but you don't have to know the background or all the processes behind it to be able to use. And that's the problem that all of crypto is pretty much facing as it currently stands right now.
Yes, and if I can say something about that, is that Pirate Chain has several wallets, some developed by members of the community, some developed by the Pirate Chain team. There's a light wallet that works on mobile that's really fast. There's the full node wallet for a desktop or a laptop. There's also a hardware wallet in development, which is quite something. And for people,
it's actually finished.
Okay, I'll say that again. There's a hardware wallet as well that's available, just like I said, and that's quite something for a ZK Snark currency, because that requires so much memory and validating all the transactions. How do you check that it's all there? It's also available on third-party wallets like Edge, which is a multi-currency wallet, and they do a lot of focus on privacy cryptos, as well as the regular cryptos, and that's available on their mobile wallet. And I did an interview with the CEO of Edge, which people can find through my channel, about bringing on Pirate Chain. But the other thing about it is, if you send me, I know why you won't send me 10 Bitcoin, Itszhak. I know why. Because I can then look up the address that you sent it from. Like, oh my God, the guy's got millions and he only sent me 10. But when I send you Pirate Chain, you get the transaction, you can see the pirate chain land in your wallet, but you can't look in my wallet, no matter how hard you try. And I once did this competition, and I might do it again. On my Twitter, I posted a transaction ID that I'd done from one pirate chain address to another. I said, here's the transaction ID. Tell me how much was sent, which address it went from, which address it went to, what time, and what day. And you can have the exact amount. Nobody got it. Nobody got it. You just can't. Now, we do that with Bitcoin transaction. Oh, it was really easy. It went here. This person's got this much. And that's really important, because if I go and, it has commercial applications, because, say, for example, a mechanic, a small business doesn't necessarily want a rival mechanic in that town to know how much funds they have. And then I can also see the commercial applications of Secret Network, where a big investor places a lot of money in a particular trade within the Secret Network ecosystem. They don't want other people to know, so that they can front run it or capitalize on that. Okay, now whose turn is it to ask a question? Draeth, I think it's your turn to ask Itszhak a question.
Yeah, see, this is hard because I know, like I said, I know a decent amount about secrets. So I'm trying to think of a question that would be good for the audience to understand.
Let me answer a question then. Right. So, and it's getting clearer for me that how much Secret Network, the whole ecosystem, parallels the ecosystem of Ethereum. So Ethereum got launched, and then people started building applications, and then people started building, projects like Polygon and others or whatever that can run on the Ethereum blockchain and make it faster and stuff. So you got this ecosystem of ecosystems developing on the Ethereum blockchain. And it's similar with Secret Network. So you've got an ecosystem and applications being built, like decentralized exchanges and I don't know, Lord knows what. And you can do DeFi on it with Monero, because Monero will run on the Secret Network when it gets wrapped. But also you have ecosystems of ecosystems, and Shade is one such ecosystem, which is a separate currency with its own stable coin and its own DeFi applications. Is that? Would you say that was accurate, clumsy, accurate but clumsy portrayal of the Secret Network ecosystem?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can look at it that way, where Secret Network is this infrastructure, much like Ethereum is an infrastructure, and then you have different, different areas. Like we have the decentralized finance, which is we have, Shade, as you mentioned. There's another decentralized exchange, Blizzard, that very recently launched. And there's going to be launch pads, and there's an NFT marketplace where NFTs have both public data, your picture of monkeys or whatever, then private data, or naked monkeys or something like that, where only the owner of the NFT can see the entire picture. And we have bridges to other chains. So there's bridge to Monero. We have few bridges to Ethereum. There's IBC, so you can bring in tokens. Now there's going to, we haven't launched it yet. It's coming next week. It's a new, really, really cool feature, providing random numbers to contracts on an infrastructure layer. So very, very soon we're going to start seeing gaming on chain as well, which is going to be really, really cool. Probably going to be some poker, some blackjack. You'll be able to, launch these decentralized applications that allow people to play with each other. It's going to be really, really cool to see. And yeah, like lots of other stuff. We have people looking at healthcare and how to share, personal information and do credit scoring and all kinds of other applications out there. Basically, whatever you can think of putting on the blockchain.
Yes, and a couple that come to mind because I'm featuring them on my channel. Etho Protocol, which is a storage system built on the Secret. Well, actually, it evolved from the Secret ecosystem, and then also and that's storage. Then also Serenity Shield, and they're developing on the Secret Network ecosystem, part of the Secret ecosystem, and they're not out yet. But what they're building is a legacy system for passing on your crypto assets to others in the event, as a hereditary thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Itszhak, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, this whole use case of, once you realize that you can store encrypted data on the blockchain, one of the first things you think of is, wait, can't I just store, private keys there? And the answer is yes, you can. So you can actually have, your wallet stored on the blockchain, which is, this inception level of, of coolness. And you can do all kinds of amazing things. And Serenity Shield is one of those use cases. It's going to be really cool.
And I just want to qualify that. Just be really, really careful. Do not put your seed phrase online. Okay. Don't got to break it up in some way, right? Okay. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Draeth, anything you want to dig into about what Itszhak said about the ecosystem?
Actually, I do have a question, just because I'm usually curious about this specifically for for the answer from anybody really. How do you balance the apps on chain in terms of like storing data on chain versus letting people know, like, hey, realistically, while you're able to do this, it's really not the best thing to do. Like, for example, right? Say like there's an app that's built on Secret where, for the US users, you can store your your personal data, whatever, like your social, for example, your social security number, right? Obviously, yeah, Secret is extremely private, all the stuff, so it's safe. However, is that really the best idea to store that data on chain? You see what I'm saying? So it's not a, I guess, not really technically a secret question, but it's more like just a personal question of how what are your views on that exactly?
Yeah, that's a great question, a very fair one, I think. So the way I look at things is that risk assessment, or basically, how likely is, what's the risk to the data, or to the things I really care about. So it's all about, sort of how much does it cost to attack versus what do you get from it. So basically sort of like a risk reward kind of thing. Because no system, I don't think you'll find anybody, especially not developers of any kind of computer, digital system, whatever, claiming that you can't hack their system. Everything can be hacked. The question is, how much does it cost? So when I ask myself, is data, is specific data something that I would put on Secret Network? The question is, what's the value there and how much does it cost to attack? Now, would I put private keys with tens of billions of dollars just on Secret Network with no further protection? Maybe not. Like, I'd probably think about that one. But something that you could do is find ways where you can store not the entire private key, but maybe split it up using whether it be MPC or another layer of encryption or something like that. And you could do that. As to private information, the question is how much data? Because one person's social security number is not, like, it's valuable to that person, but an attacker doesn't really care. Like, what are you going to do with one person's social security number? Probably not much. Will you invest, the many hours that it'll take to, try to find a vulnerability, whether it be on Secret Network or on the application layer, which is a whole other thing, because you can have a vulnerability not in Secret itself, but on the application side of things. So once you start thinking about, a ton of data, then that becomes more valuable, and that's where you have to think about, maybe I want some more access control inside my application. Maybe I want, another layer of encryption. Maybe I want to split things up. But I'd say that for now, considering also, the number of users and the scale of applications, I think that, these are the sort of things that can be built and are probably, very, very interesting, and probably not that interesting for attackers to attack, because, why attack Secret Network and steal somebody's private data when they can attack whatever cross-chain bridge and try to steal hundreds of millions of dollars? Like, there are more attractive targets right now. But going forwards, we always we always try to, challenge ourselves and improve our security. And I hope that one day we'll get to a point where I come on, this show and I say, you have private keys with billions of dollars, put them on secret network, no problem. I'll even sell you insurance. I'm so confident. I'll sell you insurance for that. No problem. And I think, I think we can get there. I think, right now, the technology is new. So, you don't want to risk, put all your marbles in, in one bag. But I think we can get to a place where the technology has evolved enough where we feel safe with whatever use case it is.
Very good. And
that's some very, very good points. And one of the points that I actually, really liked was the fact that you said, not storing, basically storing pieces of information rather than the entire information and stuff. Because, like you said, everything is vulnerable to get hacked. And and the other thing that you mentioned that I also didn't realize was basically the cost benefit analysis of that, which is how much does it cost to attack versus what you're going to get out of it. So one person storing something and then another person trying to attack the chain for that thing, realistically, like for example, a social security number, it's going to cost them way more to try to attack the chain rather than what they're going to get out of it. So no, there's a lot of good points. That's great.
And just to follow up on that Jackal protocol, what they do is they take the data, they encrypt it, and it's split. And there are copies that are copies of the split on different nodes, and which very neatly leads us on the fact that secret, like all the assets within the Cosmos ecosystem, is proof of stake using validators to validate the transactions, and they all have different reward fees as well for the stakers to consolidate to keep the blockchain secure. Pirate Chain is proof of work, given that it's a fork of Komodo, which is a fork of Zcash, which is a fork of Bitcoin. So it's that proof of work legacy, and also because of the validators within the Cosmos ecosystem, Secret Network is not prone to 51% attacks, because you'd have to have 51% of the actual tokens that are staked and be staking them yourself, right? Which is virtually impossible to do. But with Pirate Chain, every 10 minutes, all the transactions are hashed, and then they are copied onto the Komodo blockchain. Then those are hashed and copied onto the Litecoin blockchain. So you would need 51% of the computing power of Litecoin, 51% of the computing power of Komodo, and then 51% of the computing power of Pirate Chain in order to print more R coins and do double spend attacks. It just ain't worth it. You got 51% of the Litecoin network. Be happy with that.
Actually, I do have a controversial question for you, buddy. So, and I know that you probably won't really be able to fully answer this, considering that you're a developer of the network itself. But what are some of your favorite projects that are within that ecosystem?
And actually, make it more controversial. Which are the really bad ones?
No.
Just tell us the ones that you're interested in.
Yeah, because there's a lot of solid projects on your ecosystem that I'm actually really a fan of. So I'm just curious as to what some of your favorites are.
Yeah, I think there are like a few that I really like. I think the one I'll shout out is Shade. They have an entire ecosystem, a suite of like DeFi projects, starting with the decentralized exchange and a stable coin and lending and all that stuff. And all that's private, and they've just launched now. I've played around with it. It's really, really cool. It's taken quite a while, working on it, and now to finally see the fruits of their labor. That's really, really cool. And I think the other thing which has not been released yet is, and I sort of mentioned this before, it's a number of different gaming applications that you'll see on Secret Network, I think fairly shortly, where you'll be able to have I don't know, can I tease this? I'll just tease it. I don't know. We're actually going to have like this proof of concept of how to build roulette on chain, where the point is we're going to put, we're going to give the house a significant amount of money, and we're going to release it on mainnet and just challenge people to come and see if they can break the randomness, try to hack secret network, do whatever they want, and find a way to maybe just get lucky and take all the house for what it's worth. But yeah, like stuff like that, I think, which cannot really be done on other chains. Those are the use cases that I'm really excited about. Serenity Shield, that's another one. The Jackal, the stuff that they did, that was really cool as well.
Yep, and I'm Draeth, if I can say something, so I would definitely back up about Shade. And Shade Swap, the new DEX, has got double rewards currently as an incentive to bring liquidity over if you pool and stake and all that business using Shade Swap. And Draeth, you need to watch my Shade Swap videos and subscribe and comment and like and all that business. And then also, I'm very interested in Serenity Shield when that comes out. And I know they're working behind the scenes to develop their legacy hereditary system for passing on crypto assets and stuff. Sorry, Draeth, over to you.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, it's actually interesting to say Shade, because Shade is actually what I dug into first. And then from that point, found out about Secret and then started digging into Secret. So,
yep. Okay, can I just a couple of logistic questions, or maybe just one. When did Secret Network launch?
So Secret Network is one of the first Cosmos chains, not the first. That's obviously Cosmos, yes. But that would be, I think, early 2020. So
no,
a few years ago.
It was before. I know it was before because I interviewed Tor in 2018 about Secret Network, which is when I first bought some Secret. So.
Nah, you didn't buy Secret in 2018.
I'm sure.
No, but Secret Network is an evolution of what was called Enigma back in the day. So that would be 2017-ish. And then the idea was to be like a layer 2 for Ethereum. That really didn't work out. It was very, very technically challenging. So we did the switch to focus on Cosmos instead. And we launched Secret Network February 2020, something like that. Maybe a bit before. I don't remember exactly.
Okay, well, I'll check that out. You may be right, but I do remember interviewing Tor in the one of the leads within Secret Network ecosystem.
I mean, I don't know what Tor sold you back in 2018. But I don't think it was Secret.
Okay, I may have my dates wrong, right? Oh my God. Perhaps he sold me
Don't buy anything from Tor.
A coin with
it was so secret it didn't exist.
Anyway, I've had Secret for a long time. And Pirate Chain launched in August 2018. Proof of work, they just released the code. And it has a halving every 270 days. Anything either of you want to say with regards to your respective projects before we finish up? Anything we haven't covered?
No, I think we covered everything, on Secret. I'm excited to hear, what's next for Pirate Chain. What are you guys building? What are you doing? What can we expect from, you guys going forwards?
Yeah, I mean, as far as Pirate Chain goes, I mean, we're constantly working on just different things in terms of how to reach more people, not necessarily in crypto, but outside of crypto as well. The hardware wallet that one of our community member, or used to be a community member, now is kind of a team member. I mean, he developed the entire thing himself, circuit board and everything. And, he finally finished that. So now we have an actual hardware wallet. And essentially, we're just trying to, expand into different markets in terms of, stores or online businesses and so forth. So,
yeah. And you mentioned earlier Armada, ARRMADA.com, and also Barter, BARRTER.com. And Armada is a list of businesses that accept R for their products and services. And Barter.com is a membership-only sort of eBay equivalent or Craigslist equivalent where people can buy and sell using R as the currency. So that's good. And there's more being developed, more use cases not use cases for Pirate Chain, but more places where it can be used and in more ways that it can be used. And for Secret Network, with lots and lots of exciting things being developed within that ecosystem, it's hard to keep up. It's really, really hard to keep up. And for people who are interested in getting involved in cryptocurrency, I think Pirate Chain and Secret Network are both really great projects to do that. Secret Network has secret agents where they really train and teach people about however you want to get involved within the blockchain space. and you can find out about secret agents through the Secret Network website. And then Pirate Chain is a community project. Well, you just start speaking up in the Telegram or Discord groups and contributing whatever you've got to contribute. I got made a crew member because I just kept doing videos on Pirate Chain. And one day, apparently, they'd had a vote and they said, all right, we'll let him in. We'll let him in. He can be one of the crew. So I'm honored to be a first mate in the good ship Pirate Chain. And thank you both very, 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 very much. I really enjoyed doing these videos where projects meet each other. And anybody who's watching, do dig into them both. And if you're from Secret Network, go take a look at Pirate Chain. If you're from Pirate Chain, go take a look at Secret Network. And either way, subscribe, comment, like, and do all that business. And between now and when I see you next, please keep filling your pockets with privacy and freedom. This is Captain Draeth, an honorary first mate, Itszhak, signing out. All the best. Bye-bye.
Later.